Authors, editors, publishers, book cover designers, agents, critics, readers. A whole lot of professionals come together for a book. I am your host, Koral Dasgupta, all set to ask some interesting, straightforward, and fun questions to our guests. Here today, I sit with my dear friend and an author, biographer, and journalist, Yasser Usman. Welcome to the show, Yasser.
Thank you, Koral. Wonderful being with you on the show. I keep on listening to your show. It's wonderful. And finally, I got a chance to be there. Thank you so much.
Oh, it's totally my pleasure, man. We have been talking about books and our authoring stuff offline, but this is the first time we are doing it. We are recording it. So, yes, sir, my first question to you that I was just going through your profile to understand a little more about you. And I was shocked to see that you hold a master's degree in environmental science. And post that, you came to films. मतलब कौन सी गलती कहाँ से आके सीधा
गलती सबसे होती. So we grew up like Koral, you and I grew up in the 1990s. So in those days, every parent wanted her kid to be doctor or engineer or an IAS. So कुछ महान बनना था. And my father used to be head of department chemistry. So doing a BA was out of question. So I said, no, I want to study, something which is not science. He said, no, you can do whatever you want, but you must do your BSc and then you must do your MSc. So मैं फंस गया and I had to do it. Initially, I actually enjoyed doing it. By the end of it, there used to be a professor in my college, and he said, and he used to be one of those professors who talked everything other than his subject. And he was a wonderful conversation.
Those are the guys we really love.
Yeah, I love those guys. So he said, what are you planning to do? So I said, no, I'm confused, sir. So he said, please don't do a PhD or don't go into environmental science. That's not your cup of tea. I said, okay.
Someone said it.
And then someone said it, and he said, no, I have noticed that you are a very, very good storyteller. These years I have noticed. So you must do something which has something to do with telling stories, narrating stories. So I knew it, and I used to write in newspapers and magazines even in my college. And those were the years when TV channels were coming in India. We were started 24-hour channels. So it was also a nice career option. My friends from college were someone was going to Australia, someone to the States to pursue, advanced studies in environmental science. And I said, nee, yaar, I'm going into media and I'm going to pursue this. So, and I started enjoying it initially. I did my mass communications from Indian Institute of Mass Communication, Delhi. And then post that, I started writing scripts. And I didn't join a news channel initially. I wasn't a journalist. I was more of a TV producer. I used to make Bollywood-based shows, and I used to write scripts for travel shows. Good days, and then I realized that I need to write a lot more. It wasn't initially that I have to write Bollywood biographies, but going back, I realized what should I write? Initially, I was producing crime shows for television, many crime shows. No, I don't want to name them because but there were some major ones. So I was producing them. I was getting awards for them. So the natural thing was to write crime fiction. I used to read a lot of crime fiction. I still want to write crime fiction. So that was something I wanted to pursue as a writer. But it all changed when I was in Bombay one fine morning for some assignment for a shooting. And my editor called me up and he said, Rajesh Khanna has passed away and I want you to make a documentary on the last few years of his life when he was no more the superstar. This was an interesting thing, and I was always obsessed with Bollywood. And I always use the word obsession because I used to, as a kid, as a school-going kid also, I used to watch all the films, all Bollywood films. And my father was also fond of watching films, so he never stopped me from doing that. Yeah. That was one thing I was obsessed with. So I knew the entire background, and I made that documentary. I stayed in Bombay for a few days and made that documentary. Well, so my editor asked me that, it's such a wonderful, warm, well-researched documentary. Why don't you write a book, a biography? I said, but I'm not even a fan of Rajesh Khanna. It doesn't matter. So this was an idea, and then again a year passed, and I said, "Ha, theek hai, theek hai." Then one fine morning again, he give me an idea. Yeah, and I said, what should I do? So that was the only subject I had researched. So I made a proposal and I mailed it to him, and then somehow Penguin came into picture. And then Penguin also asked me to write a biography of Rajesh Khanna. So I pura phas gaya. Then I started writing.
Okay.
And the process was something I enjoyed the most. But then my name on the cover, it was the process of writing Rajesh Khanna. And I met so many people. It was an unauthorized biography. And I met so many co-stars, filmmaker friends, and doctors. It was a wonderful experience because those people talking about 1970s of Bollywood, 1980 ka Bollywood, it was those wonderful memory, and it also became a book about loneliness because particularly Rajesh Khanna, he was the first superstar of Bollywood, and during the last 2 decades, there was no work. He was like out of work, and he was no more the superstar. He was kind of lonely. He was not living with his family. So it's a very strange personal story, a human story, and I wanted to pursue that part of his life. So it actually became a book about loneliness, and then I started loving the story. And if you go through the book, it is actually not about his films. It is a very personalized, very personal story about how someone who was ruling the nation once, people used to call him mass hysteria. Upar Aaka, Niche Kaka, such phrases were coined for Rajesh Khanna. And that person was the most lonely person a certain phase of his life. So that became very interesting. And when it was published, it got some wonderful reviews. A few people who actually got the essence of it. And that was nice. And then out the next subject. So after Rajesh Khanna itself, I decided let's do a trilogy because, and it's very important because a lot of people ask me why these subjects, why these film stars. There are other more accomplished actors or stars. So my thing after Rajesh Khanna was that I wanted to explore their stardom because if you go through my subjects, Rajesh Khanna, Rekha, and Sanjay Dutt, in my opinion, they were not the greatest actors we have seen. But as stars, as superstars, they kind of ruled the film industry for more than 2 decades, each one of them.
Yeah, they had a very larger-than-life feel to them. I mean, as human beings, they are larger-than-life.
Like if you take my last book, which was the biography of Sanjay Dutt.
Right.
Now look at Sanjay Dutt. Everyone knows his story. So the first question my editor also asked that why Sanjay Dutt? Everyone knows about him. My point was that he is someone who was charged under TADA. He was a drug addict. He was he did everything which a star or a public figure should never do. Yet he went to jail. For years he was in jail. Yet when he came out, people accepted him as Munna Bhai.
No, Sanjay Dutt was always very much loved, no? I mean, he was always Sanju Baba despite everything. He was always Sanju Baba.
Don't you think it's such a paradox? Because
it's phenomenal, yeah.
When you come to Rekha, so everyone knows, you take Rekha's name and everyone talks about her association with the superstar. That's the only thing you want to discuss about her. My book, though it covered that part of her life, but it wasn't really about him or her per se, their relationship or their association. My take on Rekha was that she, as a 14-year-old from Chennai, a Tamil Telugu speaking girl from Chennai, 15 years down the line, and she had no clue about, her Hindi was pathetic. Couldn't speak Hindi. She tried to learn Hindi for her initial films. And then 15 years later, she got her national award for Umrao Jan, speaking Urdu, impeccable Urdu.
Right.
It was the journey I wanted to capture, and in that journey, it wasn't just the story of Rekha. It was also about how the film industry function in the 1970s or early 80s. How the industry and the producers and the male stars treated the female stars. It was also about that. So it was a larger perspective. With Rekha as the subject. So a lot of people actually got the story. There were few people who didn't get it. He said, "Nahi, this is all gossip." I said, "No, this is not gossip. This is Rekha, though she refused to cooperate with me for the book. But then I had to go back to the archives and pull out all her interviews
And
from
source your information.
So if you read the book, in every chapter it is Rekha narrating her story through her interviews. Because if an event happened in her life, in those days the film journalism was quite vibrant. So they used to talk to the press, and honest interviews and bold interviews, all kinds of conversations used to happen, unlike today when everything is PR.
Yeah, absolutely. So at that time, I mean, when you wrote Rekha, I remember one very interesting thing that I heard from you, and I was literally laughing sitting in a literature festival, where someone has asked you that why didn't you, since you have written Rajesh Khanna and Rekha, till then Sanjay Dutt wasn't out. And someone had asked that, why have you written these two, but why haven't you written about Bachchan? And someone from the other side said, what nonsense are you talking? Both his books are about Bachchan.
I know. So that's true. Because I've been the greatest Bachchan fan. My childhood was all about Amitabh Bachchan. So it must be something, what do you call it? Freudian thing. Because I wrote about Rajesh Khanna, which was his biggest rival, and then I wrote about Rekha. There's a lot of Bachchan in both my books, the first two books, definitely. You can say all the books are also about Mr. Bachchan.
So, yes, sir, when you were writing these things, I understand that you were writing unauthorized biographies. So at some point of time, when you write an unauthorized biography, do you feel stuck, or do you feel that you can help yourself through the manipulative, with or without the person giving you his or her personal inputs?
Coral, coming to the question of unauthorized biographies, like I used to read most of the film magazines, interviews in newspapers as a kid. So when I came for college to Delhi, that was the time when I started reading cinema books, biographies or books about cinema. And I realized that the popular filmmakers or film actors offered only sanitized versions of their widely reported lives. It was different. What I had read in newspapers or what was reported years ago, now they are either refuting them, or they just don't want to talk about them. Because they were uncomfortable spaces. They didn't want to delve into that phase of their lives. So perfectly okay. But I wanted to capture these film stars in all their three-dimensional glory, because that's what makes them special. What is Sanjay Dutt without his drug addiction phase? What is Sanjay Dutt without his story? What is Rajesh Khanna without those stories of his stardom? Or what is Rekha without those Kanjivaram saris, or whatever happened in her life, not just films, but in her personal lives also, because that makes them special, that makes them human.
Absolutely.
So that was the point. If someday I decide to write about them, I am going to do an unauthorized version. If they agree for an interview, well and good, because that's always, whenever I try to write a book, think about an idea, a subject, the first step even now is to call them up if they're alive, or call their family and ask them for an interview, but not for an authorized version. I just want their interview. I have my question as a journalist, as an author, as a writer, and like I interviewed Sanjay Dutt for the book. So if they agree, well and good, yeah. Otherwise, there are a lot, because these are so big superstars that most of the events in their lives are so well covered that you will get their versions or
Yeah. You get the matter anyway.
anyway.
It's
Yeah.
just for them to kind of add some meat, maybe, for us to.
Sometimes it becomes very amusing. This like we are talking about the process of writing and meeting these people. So I'll tell you something that they are. Sometimes it gets interesting, sometimes frustrating, but there's a very amusing, a comical, a very funny experience I would like to narrate. So
Yeah, please.
So I was researching on Rekha. So I was in Bombay and I was calling up directors who worked with Rekha. So one of the filmmaker, I don't want to name him, but he has made a few films with Rekha. So I called him up and he said, "Ki, हाँ, आप office आ जाइए मेरे, I'm in Andheri, somewhere in Andheri." So I said, yeah. So I went there and waiting for half an hour. He said, so his assistant came, कि आ जाइए sir बुला रहे हैं. So I went inside and so he looked at me. अच्छा आप रेखा पे लिख रहे हैं? I said, हाँ. आप तो बड़े young हैं. So I ignored him. I said, हाँ ठीक है. It was a strange comment and I said, let's record the interview. Sir, I have a few questions and I don't want to ask any personal questions. Just your experience of working with her. Oh, he just looked at me, "Aap pehle chai pijiye." So I said, okay. And then like again 20 minutes. And then he announced dramatically that I have a severe headache. So can we do this tomorrow? So I said, okay. But I said, I can wait if you want. I said, nahi, come to my house tomorrow. Come a bit early, like 8:30, 9 a.m. I said, okay, that's fine. What can I do?
Yeah.
So next morning, I rang his doorbell. He opened the door, and he was wearing a brown silk lungi and nothing else. So, and there was no one else in the house. So again, it was strange, but I took out my recorder and fired my first question. I said, okay, let's talk about Rekha. Let's talk about Rekha. You've worked with her in so many films. अरे बहुत साल हो गए, I don't remember anything. What's there to talk anyway? So I really it was irritating. God. So I said, but why have you called me here if you don't want to talk? So it was very strange. So there was a glass table between us. And he started tapping his fingernails like a tabla and started singing a Rekha song. And I have the recording of, because my recorder was on.
Yeah.
And then he staring at him, and then he looks at me and he says, "Rekha behad khoobsurat hai aapki tarah." So
God. Yes, and I was praying in my head that this story doesn't go there. This story doesn't go there. But it's going. Okay,
this time, because he was being sleazy and stupid, and he had wasted my time twice in 2 days. So I was so angry. And
obviously,
looking back at it now it seems hilarious. What kind of people in the film industry? Then I finally said, listen, man, are you interested in talking about her or not?
Yeah.
Then he said, I'm very interested. Are you interested? So then he said, what do you do? आप क्या करते हैं दिल्ली में? I said, I work for a news channel and I make a daily crime show. Do you want to feature in it? So, that kind of worked. That kind of worked and became serious and got a cup of tea for me. But he talked nonsense, didn't give me a nice interview, and he wasted my time. So this was one of those amusing experiences. But then you meet good people also. You meet nice people who share their memories with you. People like Gulzar Saab or Salim Khan Saab, Mahesh Bhatt, Shyam Benegal Saab, and they give you wonderful perspectives, and it enriches you more than your book. It is not just it is not just about your book. It becomes, the conversation becomes more than that. So I actually love the process of writing more than, once the book is out, it is not in your hand.
Yeah.
in the market and people like it or dislike it, I'm okay with that because ठीक है. I have worked for TV for so long, and I know you make all the programs the same amount of hard work. Some program gets the TRP, some program it doesn't work at all. So that's okay with me. So I enjoy the process, and also it's a very strange thing to say, Koral. I know you are also a writer, and you might understand it, that when I sit in that corner in my room for writing, I actually think that I am writing something special. Otherwise, what's the point of writing?
Exactly.
People can question, "Arey yaar, Sanjay Dutt ke bare mein kya hai?" But I don't think like that when I'm writing about Sanjay Dutt or anyone for that sense. I don't think, "Arey iske bare mein to sab pata hoga." I always think that whatever I'm writing is going to be special. Otherwise, there's no point, and it becomes very difficult otherwise to write. So, a different perspective from my eyes, and hoping that people will understand that perspective, why I'm writing.
Yes, sir. This while you were talking, this was just the question that was floating in my mind. That when you write a book on someone else, it is not just the personality of the person you are writing. Of course, that is the dominant personality.
Yeah.
But every book is also the personality of the author.
Definitely, I agree.
Somewhere you have to kind of detach, but even if you detach, you cannot detach the fact that you are writing. So how does that happen? One, and secondly, I mean, when you say, for example, you say that you have not been a typically fan of Rajesh Khanna, but you have been a fan of Bachchan. So a lot of things that you hear hear about them or explore and discover, probably, it might change your perspective of those personalities that you have seen in a particular way till that time. How does that entire thing work out?
It did. It does. Because while I was writing about Rajesh Khanna, like I told you, I was not his greatest fan. And I always thought that he overacted, and but people from my father's or my mother's generation told me that he was the biggest. Like my mother told me, when we used to go to watch his film, it used to be like a date between girls and Rajesh Khanna. So such stories. So I was writing about that. Like I said, it became a book about loneliness.
Right.
As a man, I could identify with that loneliness, though I'm not a star, and I don't think authors are stars anyway. What I mean to say is that on a very human level, when you humanize the enigma while writing, you realize that they go through the same emotions. So there are like anecdotes about Rajesh Khanna narrating in an interview, saying that I was thinking of committing suicide because 7 films had flopped, and my family life was going through hell, and nothing was working out for me. And when you are so big a star, it doesn't matter if your 5 films flop. It actually doesn't matter in practical terms. You have a bungalow to live. You have like a fleet of cars. You have everything that anyone can dream of.
Probably that is more financial you are talking about.
What I mean to say is from a common man's perspective.
Yes. Perfect. Yeah.
When you look, when a common man look, say Salman Khan, if his film flops, it doesn't from
matter.
A common man's perspective, how does it matter? Salman Khan.
Yeah, because a common man is facing the more existential problems.
But they have their own emotional problems, like human problems, emotional problems, and some people, some stars actually choose to talk about them. Rajesh Khanna talked about it, and it's in detail. And that's when you realize the kind of loneliness. During the last 10 years of his life, he desperately wanted to make a comeback. He was desperate to work in films, but no one offered him film. And there were many reasons for that, which I have tried to discuss in my book. But at the same time, someone who was at the peak. There is a quote where he's saying कि लोग ऐसे ही चल के गिर जाते हैं, चोट लग जाती है, लोगों को कितना दर्द होता है. Just think about it, that मैं तो हिमालय से गिरा था, कितनी चोट लगी होगी. So that's a very interesting quote कि जब आप ऊंचाई से गिरते हैं तो कितनी चोट लगती है. तो he's constantly talking about his loneliness. He calls up one late night, he calls up his man Friday, Prashant, who used to work with him in his staff. And he says, "Ke sare log chhod gaye, tu bhi mujhe chhod gaya hai. I'm so lonely now." So there are many anecdotes, and it actually became a book about loneliness. And it affects you as a man. I could identify with those emotions. But when I was writing the Rekha book, it was different. Also, whenever you write a book, you are also an author. It takes minimum, I think, an year to minimum. I'm talking about like Rajesh Khanna book took more than 2 years. Rekha I did in one and a half years. So it is literally you are going to bed thinking about the next chapter. So you're thinking about Rajesh Khanna while going to bed, or you're thinking about Rekha or Sanjay Dutt. It's not a good scenario. It's a very strange thing for your mind, heart and mind, that you're going to bed thinking about
you
their
are
lives all
almost
the time.
living their life, the problems of their lives, है ना?
Thinking about them, कि क्या सोचा होगा जब हुआ होगा, when Rekha's husband committed suicide, what must be going through her mind. It is a very strange thing. And they are film stars, so we know them, but it is true for everything. Even when you write fiction, in fiction, so it is even more difficult because you have created those characters. Like you write fiction, Koral, you write wonderful fiction, and it becomes even more difficult because you have to decide. In my case, okay, I don't have to decide the events in their life because they have already happened. That way it is easier, but you are still thinking about them because writing a book is a long process.
Yeah.
So again, but that is something I'm very fond of, that process. So now I wanted to go back. Recently, someone was asking what's your next book about. So I said I wanted to go back in time and write about 1940s and 50s of Bollywood. It was a very interesting time without mobile phones, without colored films, black and white. Yet the emotions, I feel, because as soon as you say it's going to be about 1940s or 50s, people say, "Arey yaar, itna purana." But you don't realize, wo admi aur aurat to same hi the na. I'm talking about similar emotions. They went through the same emotions. Society might be different, the film industry, the way it functioned might be different, but they were the same human beings. Usme kuch fark nahi hai. So, theek hai, that's the process I enjoy a lot.
Okay. So, Yasir, one question that is a little different from what we have been discussing till now. As an author, as a journalist, I understand that you have a busy life. How do you declutter? I mean, when you are too cluttered inside the head thinking, because whatever you do, I understand is very intellectually stimulating. It's not that you are writing now and next moment you will have to go somewhere and manufacture soap. So everything that you are doing is very intellectually stimulating. What do you do when your head is very cluttered? How do you de-stress?
Yes, just go out for a drive, Koral. That almost always works. But then while driving, if I reach a party, then it becomes difficult because then there's no point of coming back and come back to write. The writing table.
Yeah.
So wo mushkil hai, but yeah, definitely driving and I don't read much when I'm writing. That's something I should change. But yeah, it becomes difficult for me to read anything. Not about films, not fiction. I stop reading when I'm writing. And you say as a writer, like I read somewhere that who's a writer? A writer is someone who writes daily. For me, that's not true. Yeah. I don't write regularly, but when once I decide and let's say that I speak to my publisher or my editor, okay, I'm planning to write about him, and I've started my research. Once I start my research, that's the day I began writing regularly. That phase, that 1 year or those 8 months or 9 months, because writing doesn't take much time. In my case, it's the research. I want to be very thorough with my research, and I travel, I meet people, I record interviews. I do that before I begin writing, and then I have to, it's like a film or a TV thing, na, कि सब कुछ ले लो table पे and then you start writing. For me, that's the process. So I don't start writing, but then I become it's a regular process. And my off days from office, I don't go out. I just write morning to night.
So you kind of seclude yourself from everything else, every other distraction.
Yeah. And then I go out to drive, for a drive.
Okay, super. So the last question, how do you, as an author, impact or inspire your daughter? I understand that you have a small daughter and she is growing up under the influence of two authors. Both you and your wife write very different stuff. So what is your part of the inspiration that she is receiving?
I don't know if it's an inspiration because she's too small, Coral. When my first book was published, she was born the year my first book was published.
Okay.
Yeah. So she's now 6 and she can read now. Just started reading a few months ago. Then he pulled out all my books. So now she can recognize Rekha and Rajesh Khanna and Sanjay Dutt. So, and she says, "Where's my name in the book?"
Yeah.
Show her name because Rekha is dedicated to her and her name is there in all my books. She's very interested to see her name and said, and one day she asked me, "Why do you write?" So I told her that I love telling stories, beta, and she said, "But who are these people?" So then I said that come with me, and I showed her a song from Umrao Jan and Sanjay Dutt's Rocky, and then she recognized, okay, she's on your cover. I said I'm to tell her story, but why her story? I said because it is interesting. So this small conversation which is going on, but what's one good thing is that she gets up on Sundays, on Mondays early morning, and she looks and she calls to me, "Where are you?" I don't reply, and then she comes into my room and she looks at me. I'm writing, and she says, "Again, you're writing." Allow you to write. Because now she thinks it is her time, which I'm utilizing in writing, which is kind of true, but I don't know how to balance it. And then she will say, just laptop band kijiye, aaiye idhar type, and it's getting difficult to write now. I might have to rent a room or something and then go out to write. But because yesterday only she told me कि अब आप कोई book नहीं लिखेंगे. I will not allow you to write. But she likes listening to stories. Like she says, "Acha, you like telling stories? Tell me a story." And she herself is a storyteller because there is a strong emphasis in our house to tell stories. So you just tell. So they are family of storytellers. So I hope something good because she once actually asked me, "Why do you write about people who work in films?" So everyone is like so upset with me that why do I write about film stars who are not even great actors? So I said, yeah, that trilogy is over. That was, like I told you, those were the books about stars who are not great actors, and that was like, I decided that I'll do that. So my next book may be about some great actor or filmmaker. It doesn't have to be about each time about a Sanjay Dutt or a Rajesh Khanna. I just like telling stories.
Absolutely. I think you should write something on the Avengers, and then I'm sure your daughter wouldn't complain.
No, she's in Frozen, Elsa and...
okay.
She's a Frozen fan.
So you know who to write about?
And I said, I haven't even watched Frozen. Oh, you watch silly films. I said, okay. I'll take it.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for joining us. I had a great time talking to you. I always do, but this time we were recording, and I really would love my audience to hear this, and I'm sure they'll enjoy it as much.
I hope so, Coral. I enjoyed talking to you. Lovely, lovely, lovely show. Thank you so much for having me on your show.
Totally my pleasure. Thank you so much, yes, sir.